Eagle, go for landing, over. Roger, understand, go for landing. Eagle looking great. Houston, the Eagle has landed.
Hey, everybody. Graham Nolan here. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in this afternoon for the Sunshine State soft launch. We are now officially live. So anybody that had signed up should have received their secret perk links. Okay. That's how I know, who's a sign up and who wasn't. So if you haven't gotten it, please check your spam folders. Because they went out, the email went out at 11:30 Eastern time this morning. And I'm pretty darn excited about this campaign. This is something very different, I think, for CG backers and backers of independent comics as well. You don't see a lot of strip stuff, and I've been wanting to do this for years. So here we are. Let me get rid of that thing first. There we go. We'll pull the campaign up in a minute. But what I wanted to do today was just kind of introduce everybody to it. We're going to do a major launch tonight on Ethan's channel at 7 o'clock. So this was just to get the links out, make sure it went live without any hitches. And so far, so good. Got my Sunshine State shirt on. There's no shirts in the campaign, but you can get these Sunshine States shirts on my website, which is www.compasscomics.com. And they have a whole bunch of different colors and stuff, and it's really cool. And you can pick any size that you need, and it's made directly for you. So how's everybody doing today? I am very, very excited. Oh, Crazy Cat says, to be honest, I never pictured you as a comic strip guy, Graham. I love comic strips, always have. I mean, Monster Island, which is funding right now, Escape from Monster Island, was formatted as a comic strip, and it was designed to be like Buzz Sawyer, which is one of my favorite adventure comics. But Sunshine State owes more to Popeye than anything else. I love Popeye, the original E.C. Segar Popeye, because any humor from that strip came directly from the characters. There weren't gag strips, and the Sunshine State is like that. It's all character driven. Once you know the personalities of these characters, then the humor becomes even funnier. That's not to say there's not some gags, but I try to keep the gags in tune with their personalities. In other words, I couldn't take a Beetle Bailey gag and put it in here and make it sound authentic. And that was something very important to me, because I've been drawing these characters, particularly Mel the alligator, since 1984. And the strip was a very different strip back then. It was more of a slice of life family thing. It was very derivative. It just looked cool. I had this family of alligators. His original name was Goober, and he had a wife and 2 kids. And I got some good gags out of it, but I realized it was derivative and it wasn't going anywhere. So I shelved it, but I continued to draw my little alligator character. And then 2009, it finally came to me that this needs to be a buddy strip. This needs to be a strip that you could listen to Jimmy Buffett music to, or think of it when you're reading the strip. And that's the direction. That was the impetus for me to give it direction, and make stories and whimsical adventures with these characters. Bring in things that I love, like Star Trek and comics, and all that kind of fun stuff into the strip. And I started that in 2009. I tried to get it syndicated in papers, and I actually got into one newspaper out in California, the San Mateo Times, I think it was. but you can't make any money with one strip. Technically, you got to have about 100 strips to make not 100 strips, 100 papers, 100 papers to make even halfway decent. And those papers have to have high circulations because that's how syndication works. The syndicate takes half of everything and you're left with the other half. And, if they stop pushing your strip, which they will after about 6 months, and move on to the next new launch, you're stuck with whatever you got pretty much. And it doesn't matter to them. They're taking half of it and they've got a million other strips that actually make them a ton of money. But you are still obligated to do that strip for that, $30 a month, but you're working on it every day, including Sundays. So I realized that was not the direction I wanted to go. And so I ended up getting it syndicated through digitally through Go Comics, which is an arm of Andrews McMeel, which is a big actual newspaper syndicate. And it didn't make me any money. I think they paid me $100 a quarter on that. So, it came out to like less than $5 a strip, something like that. But I kept doing it. I did it, since 2014. So it's been 11 years, or yeah, it was 11 years because I took it down from there in I think March or April of 2025 because I wanted to showcase it on the Compass Comics website. And I knew that I wanted to do a collection of this. I had just tons and tons of strips. And so I started with the Sundays because the Sundays are large and they're, when you think of strips, the Sundays really come to mind. But what I got to do by doing it digitally is I got to play with format sizes. Back in, the heyday of comic strips, newspapers would run tabloid size. New York Daily News used to do that, which would be like, a comic book page. But it would take Tarzan was a tabloid. It ran the entire page. And then there were half page formats, which is what you pretty much see in comic strips and newspapers today. The problem with those is that the newspapers can take your strip and format it any way they want to make it fit on your page. So you lose that sense of continuity. If you have some design elements, sequential things, they may cut it and put it vertical. When I did the Phantom and Rex Morgan MD, they used to do that all the time, and it would drive me absolutely nuts. But I got to play with that. So I've got a couple samples here that are in the book that I want to share with you. Okay. Let me make sure that's sharing. There we go. Okay, this would be a tabloid. This is a full page, and it'll take up the full page in the book itself. I'll show you. The other thing about this book, by the way, is that it's like European size. It's 8.5 by 11. So, here's an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and you'll have two half pages on there, or one tabloid, like that's right over here on the screen right now. So that's what it's going to look like inside the book. So nice and big and clear, beautiful color, and beautiful printing. So this was an experiment. This episode was an experiment in, I talk about flights of fancy and whimsy in the strip. And there was so much talk, especially in the Marvel universe, about metaverse. So I thought, well, what if my guys went into the metaverse? And this went on for about 4 or 5 different weeks of Sundays. But I included this one because I got to draw realistic versions of the characters. So when they went through the metaverse, they ran into their doppelgangers, and so Mel and Dink, who are best friends, he says, our first stop in the metaverse, or multiverse rather. I keep saying metaverse. It's multiverse. It already feels different from our world. Look, there's our doppelgangers, and you see, an alligator and a pelican. It appears we are best friends in this universe as well. And the alligator does what it does and eats the pelican, and they're both shocked. And Dink takes it personally and says, "Jerk." Okay, and here is a make sure that's sharing. Okay. Um, this one is a half page. Okay, like the ones I showed you before. Uh, and this is just, uh, just a fun, um, how do I want to describe this humor event type of thing. If anybody's lived in Florida, you know that that pavement gets hot. And if you're not wearing flip flops or shoes, you're dead. When you got to cross it. So I had the boys, have their dilemma as they had to cross this street. Um, and Mel says, "Let's go." He's like, "Mama, no, 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 ow, 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 ooh, ooh." And then Mel realizes he's got to get some flip flops as they're cooling off their tootsies. And Dink says, "Why didn't I just fly across?" And here's another one that I thought was fun to show as an example. Another half page. Okay, and this is another one of those character driven things where uh, Mel and Dink go. Their watering hole is Ray's. It's a tiki bar that sits right by the water, and uh, Ray is rather parsimonious, if you will. Um, he's never bought a round, if you know what I mean. And the characters never pay their bills. So he presents a bill to them. I'll just leave this here, no rush. And they both look at it, and they both look at each other. They look at it. They look at each other. They look at it. It's like, who's going to pick it up? Who's going to blink? Then Ray comes back and says, "No rush, but somebody's got to pay it." And they're both looking away. So, okay, let's pull up the campaign here real quick. Uh, this is going to be a simple campaign, guys, because there's only basically 3 tiers in it. Um, I want to keep it simple. This is a 30-day campaign. There's no in demand, and the reason for that is everything's just about done on it. It's just a question of, as soon as it ends, the files are going to the printer, and then we'll be turning it around, and so you'll have these in your hands in no later than October. The campaign will close at the end of August. And it could be even September, depending on how fast the printers can turn stuff around. But the promise is no later than October. So that's how fast we're going to turn this sucker around. So I mentioned that here. Here's our cast of characters. We have Mel, we have Dink, we have Paul the Palmetto, the largest palmetto in Florida, like 6 feet tall. Liz the Anole. If you've ever been to Florida, you've seen these little lizards that crawl around, jump up on fences, and get into your screened-in porches. They're wonderful little lizards. They're so cute, and they eat palmetto bugs. They eat bugs, and so they're great to have. We used to, when I lived down there, if we found one in the house, we'd leave it there so that it could, eat anything that got in there. This is Hoover. He's a gopher tortoise. When I was a kid, we had they were clearing brush a couple blocks away, and we had all kinds of critters showing up in our yards as their homes were basically defoliated. And we had a gopher tortoise show up in our backyard that we named Cecil. And he lived with us for a few months before he dug underneath the fence and moved on. And then we have Ray, the manatee, who is the bartender. And all these characters are based on, real life experiences or part of my personality, stuff growing up in Florida, which is why this particular campaign is so personal to me, and why I continue to draw it for so many years without making any money on it. I just love these characters. They live and breathe in my head. So when you go to the site, you can see we have more some sample strips there. So you get a feeling, of what's going on. I'm a character in the strip as well. sometimes I use photographs, and sometimes, I'm just word balloons that are coming out from the top. But we have sort of an adversarial relationship with the boys and I. Um, and because I use them in promotional stuff for other campaigns like Monster Island, I use them for Alien Alamo. I'm not sure if I used them in the Canoe or not. Um, and they resent that. They don't like being shills for me. Um, but I had a fun little adventure story where they visit Monster Island, and here's Mac and Duke, uh, which, by the way, that campaign is still live. It's going to be coming down in August, so you get your hands on that one soon. So with the book, you're going to get automatically the bookmark and the vinyl sticker. Spot UV on our cover, upgraded paper. Again, this is a hardcover book, 8.5 by 11. And your choices are, you can get, well, I'll tell you the everything package next. So you can get a signed book. Okay, my signature in there. There's going to be on a front page, a frontispiece, a box, which I will sign. It'll be on the inside. Then there's the signed book with a remark. So when you purchase this one, you can choose. There's a drop-down menu. You can choose what character you want, whether it be Mel, Dink, Hoover, Liz, or Ray. And then there's the everything package, where you could get the signed, remarked book, the set of coasters, because the boys do like to drink. And each one of the coasters shows basically a different kind of drink. And then the next in the Compass Comics series of challenge coins is available. And this is the Sunshine State one. It's the only place you can get it, and it's an add-on here. So here's the coaster set. We got Mel with a pint of Guinness. We got Dink with what appears to be a lager. We got Angry Paul with a whiskey. Liz with a wine, and Hoover with a fancy cocktail. And then Ray, of course, just at the bar. On the other side of the coaster is the Compass Comics logo. And then here we have the challenge coin. So this is the next in the Compass Comics series. And that's it. This is a down and dirty campaign. It's very simple. Let's do a refresh and see if we've got any backers yet. Oh, wow. 19 backers already. $1,800. Fantastic. Fantastic. Much appreciated, guys. All right. Let me say hello to whoever's in the chat here. Crazy Cat is here. JS. Davina Duckworth. Hello, hello. Mr. Thacker. Hello. Good to see you, pal. Crazy Cat. Sarge's Cat. Hey, man. Marcus Kellegrew is here. JP Roca. Deebs, who's been looking forward to this. Here's to another great campaign. Thank you. Crazy Cat says Max Fleischer's Popeye had great comedy. The hilarious things Popeye mutters to himself. Oh, absolutely. Love those cartoons, especially those black and white ones. Huron the Steadfast finished Joe Frankenstein 3 and really enjoyed it. It's definitely one of my favorite CG series. Outstanding. Yeah, Anthony did a great job on the artwork on that issue. Willy Wonkanobi, backer number 7. Thank you, Willie. Marcus is driving from Columbia, South Carolina to Charleston for work. Katie's channel. Hey, Katie did. How you doing? Let's see. Mr. Blankenship, I've seen you posting these online. Graham, it looks nice. Thank you. Travis Patrick with a $5 super chat. Graham, hold your horses. I'll back the book come Friday. All right, Patrick. Thank you. And Crazy Cat has a comment for JDA Talks. Thank you. Let's see if there's any questions here. Yeah, let's just get rid of that idiot. There we go. This is a fun time. We don't need that knucklehead in here. The drama queen, JDA. He's gone. All right. Apex Comics says, you have a knack for newspaper strips. I bet you were inspired by Pogo. Actually, not at all. I mean, I've always loved Walt Kelly's artwork, but I hated the strip because it was so liberal politically. And he had a cadence, a way of speaking his characters, which I found very hard to understand. So as much as I admire the artwork, I didn't really like the strip, to be honest. All right. Jay Bama says that they're everywhere. Anoles are a plague. Oh, they're cute little lizards. They're not a plague. Hey, Katie did his backer number 17. Outstanding. Don't worry, Chris. I took care of that. I took out the trash. Harold the Hacker, backer 14, and he got the everything package. It really is the best deal, guys. You'll save on postage on it, and then you get the whole kit and caboodle. Joe Bernardo, hello there. Aloha. And it's the only way you can get the challenge coins. So if you've had the challenge coins from the previous campaigns, like Gosa Matakumba Key, here's Monster Island, and Joe Frankenstein. There should be a oh, that is the ghost. Yeah. Okay. So that's the only way you can get it is here as an add-on when you get the book. Alrighty. He's trying to get in through a back door with another account, I guess. Well, that was easy enough. Ryan Blue Thunder says, howdy, Graham. Looking forward to this. Maromi is here. Caleb Reynolds, McLean 94. Beautiful. It's great to see all you guys. Epic. Oh, what were my inspirations? Okay. Apex Comics wants to know what my inspiration was. Popeye was the biggest inspiration for me as a comic strip. As I mentioned, it's character driven. They have very unique personalities. And E.C. Segar used to take Popeye on trips, on stories and flights of fancy that were a lot of fun. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to have these characters, not just sitting around telling jokes, but moving through space and doing things. That makes it fun to draw, and it makes it fun to look at. Credence Desire says sayonara and bye-bye. Yeah. It's like whack-a-mole. No, I am not watching Strange New Worlds. That show is crap. It's fan fiction masking itself as science fiction and Star Trek. I watched the first couple seasons and I begged off of it. I hate it. Yodam Dark Star says, "Ha ha ha." Here in the says they're spurging out because they know CG is going strong. CG is revving up. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming up. Um, and one of the bellwethers I think is going to be this project. And I say that because I know this is a niche genre, a niche project that isn't going to appeal to everybody. Our CG books and independent books typically, are in different genres, as opposed to, humor comic strips. But, if you guys can make this one a success, then we know that we're just gonna light it up. Um, so this is gonna be a good test. Um, and I think this is going to do well. I don't have huge expectations, you know, but if those expectations are broken, and it does better than that, then fantastic. Crazy Cat says Popeye is also Graham's inspiration for swole gains. I eats me spinach. Katie did says this looks like something my kids will enjoy. What do you think is the right age to read these books to them? I know it's a dumb question. No, it's not a dumb question, Katie. Um, this is an all ages strip. There are maybe a couple in there that have some double entendres, which would probably go over their head, but there's nothing offensive in here. Like I said, it's lighthearted, fun humor that's character driven. So I recommend this for all ages. You know what you can always count on, other than death and taxes, is that as soon as I go live, my dog is up there ringing the bells to go out, and I'm sorry, she's just gonna have to wait. Julie's not home to let her out, and if I go up there and there's a big pile, I'm gonna kill her. I'm not really gonna kill her, but yeah, yeah, like death and taxes. Stat Zero says I'll be back. I'll back when I get home. Waiting my strips on my lunch break. Good luck, Graham. Oh, thank you, Stat. Stat's a big comic strip fan, so I could definitely see him enjoying this. Prater 7 says I asked two of my nephews to go see Superman with me later, and one of them didn't care at all. Ouch! Not even for the Man of Steel. Ah, the Normie Nerd is here. He says hello, Graham, in chat. Uh, Art Haida. Art Haida says, looking forward to backing later today. Outstanding. Much appreciated. Katie says, oh, good. That's awesome to hear. Thank you for thinking about the next generation. Well, I think kids should fall in love with comics, whether they're humor strips or like my Monster Island series, which was originally written for my daughters when they were younger, um, as an all ages. And I've said this before, all ages without that term becoming pejorative. It's about adults being able to read it and enjoy it as well on different levels. Sarge Cat says every Monday when you send out the latest ones makes my day. Yeah, and that's another thing, guys. If you haven't subscribed to my newsletter, go over to compasscomics.com and do that. And you'll get every Monday, you'll get a new Sunshine State strip sent to you to start your week as well. You know what, guys? I'm just going to run upstairs real quick because she is really, really ringing those bells. Give me a sec. I'll be right. Okay, I'm back. My God, she was relentless up there. Basset hounds. Now there is a smart bird. Thinks Stat can get a cameo and Dink is sick. That's funny. Oh, thank you, JP Roca. Backed it. Have a great campaign. Much appreciated. BL Blankenship says his number one selling comic is my kid friendly comic Cat and Mouse number one. People want to get their kids into comics. There's not a lot of options. Well, one of the problems is when people try to do comics for kids, the first thing a kid will see is that that looks like a comic for kids, and that's the last thing they want. Uh, they want they want to read what they think is adult. You know, they don't want stuff like tailored for them. You know, Katie says, "Amen, Graham. It's been my mission here to see more people create these kinds of comics." All right, let's do a refresh and see where we're at right now for this little lunch hour launch. All right, so we had 19 backers a little bit ago. Let's see what we got now. 27 backers with 2,525 bucks. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's great. Getting the word out. Jimmy says, I'll be backing on the first. You've always delivered. I've gifted the Shinu, Alien Alma, Gosa Matakumba Key. Love them all. Much appreciated your support, Jimmy. Absolutely. Yeah, and if you can't support it, if you can't back this project, guys, um, please tweet it out, share it on your social media. Let's prove all the haters wrong, and really, really make this a good campaign. I deliver. My books are really great looking. They feel great, and the content's great. I don't know how other way to say it without sounding like I'm bragging, but you know what? I'm bragging. Uh, I get it done for you. So, and I appreciate everybody that backs it. Chris Thacker wants to know what the Compass Comics publishing schedule looks like over the next 12 to 18 months. It's funny you should say that, Chris, because I sat outside with a pad to work on that. And what we have coming up is a few things that are going to fulfill really quick. One is I'm finishing up Escape from Monster Island. I've got like 13 more pages I've got 10 more pages to draw and 13 more pages to ink. And then we have this, which will fulfill in September. And then I'll make the announcement right here for all you guys to hear for the first time. But do you remember the Treasury editions that Marvel did and DC did their versions too? But I'm gonna do a Compass Comics Treasury edition. That size, it's like not quite 11 by 17, square bound like the Marvel ones, and it's gonna reprint the Shinu, the first two books, Shinu and Alien Alamo, and it's gonna have some extra goodies in there too. And it's going to be, large size. The artwork will be a large size for the first time. And I love those as a kid. So that's going to fulfill quickly as well. So that will fulfill probably November. So you'll have that before Christmas. And then the launch for Shinu 77, which is the sequel to the Shinu that everybody's been asking about. So those are the next few projects that are on the table. Great question. Chris reminds us to smash the like button too. Yes, please. Oh, Michelle Bauer has backed it. Thank you, Michelle. Looks like a cute book. I think so. I think people will like it. Mr. Joker 1128 says Mel needs a stuffed animal. Yeah, I did that with the Chinook, and it takes a long time to make those things. It took over a year. Now, Sweet Tooth, I'm not saying I'm better than you. There are a few people though. Jimmy says, he's replying to Apex and says, "So kind sent me a Chinook card because I bent mine. Charged me nothing. That and good books is how you keep customers." Thank you, Jimmy. Yeah, we just had a backer have his Joe Frankenstein. He ordered like the everything package, and it was sent to a PO box, and the post office actually gave it to somebody else, and they can't figure out who they gave it to, and so the poor guy didn't get any of his stuff. So he filed a report with the post office and asked them to see if they can find it, and they can't find it. So we offered to replace his entire order, and then we will file for the insurance on it. But that way, our backer gets what he asked for. It wasn't his fault. It was the post office, but we want him to be happy and to get all his stuff. So that's our policy. When we can do that, we will. Jimmy says he's the third book he ever backed behind Blood Honey and Billy's Zombie Sama. Now I've backed over 15. Fantastic. Marcus putting the Escape from Monster Island in there. Thank you, Marcus. Jimmy says he's going to get the Monster Island set soon. Yep, time's running out on that one, guys. I have the shut off date, which I believe is August. Let me just look at my calendar here. I think it's it's August 7th. So it's 1, 2, just a little over 2 weeks away. That book is coming down. So time is of the essence. Mr. Joker asks if I've ever met Jim Davis, creative Garfield. No, I have not. Oh, wait a minute. That might not be true. I think I might have met him at a National Cartoonist Society Reuben Award back in 2001. I met Jack Davis then too. He was something else. He was great. And then Joe Frankenstein couldn't back for a while, but made some financial cuts. The Joe stuff will be up on the website shortly. Once I get through some of this stuff, I'll get it up on the website. Well, Nicholas Gear is here. Hello, Nick. Okay. I think I got everybody covered there. All right, let's do one more quick refresh. 27 backers, 25, 25, 29 backers. So we picked up 2 more backers for $2,705. Much appreciated, guys. Let's see, 7, 7, 2. Okay, so wait, that's 9. 93 is 10. Huh. Math doesn't add up on those, but that could just be a That could be a Indiegogo thing. Marcus says it's a great cover you did. That I did for Nick. Oh yeah, the Tin Soldier cover. That was fun. I get to draw a character fighting a gorilla. Yeah, okay, I'm cool with that. Sweet Tooth says, "Can you give a rundown of this campaign for the people who just joined the stream?" That's a very good idea, Sweet Tooth. So let's do that. All righty, let me pull in over here. Oh, I hate that. Okay. All righty. So this is a collection of my Sunshine State strips, which I have been doing since 2009. But the character, the alligator character, I've been drawing since 1984. The Sunshine State had been syndicated digitally since 2014. And now it's all under the Compass Comics banner. So this is going to be an 8.5 by 11. Okay, so it's a full size. This is 8.5 by 11. You're going to have two what are called half page strips on a page, or one whole tabloid, which is like a full page, like a comic book page. Because I would play with the various formats depending on what I want, what I had to draw for the strip. That was the beauty of like working digitally like that, is I didn't have to adhere to any specific format. I could change it depending on what the story or the art required. What did I do with that? Hold on a second. I'll show you one that I thought really summed it up. Let's see if I have it here. Oh, no. It isn't there. Nuts. Somebody posted it on X. Anyway, it was a great example of being able to utilize the panels and stuff the way I wanted to. But anyway, I'm digressing here. So this is 8.5 by 11 hardcover book collection. It's going to be over 100. It says 115, but it's really going to be 120 pages, collecting all different kinds of these Sunday strips starring my Sunshine State characters. Here's the origin right here. Since 1985, Sunshine State has been my heartfelt, whimsical love letter to my Florida roots. Syndicated digitally via Go Comics in 2014, and now shines exclusively on the Compass Comics website. Packed with humor and charm, the strip brings back the playful spirit missing from modern comics. It's my most personal work. Every character reflects a piece of me bursting with personality and the Sunshine State flair. Join us as we explore storylines of flights of fancy as well as standalone gag strips. Sunshine State truly is your fun in the sun. As I said before, this is like I hear Jimmy Buffett music in the background of every one of these strips. And that's the feeling I hope that generates for you guys, just kind of like toes in the sand, the sound of the beach, the sunshine on you. It's what gets me through the Buffalo winters, is drawing these, So again, this is a 30-day campaign. There's no in demand. When it closes, that's it. So, this is the time. You got 30 days to back this and get your book reserved. It'll be fulfilling quickly. As soon as I have my numbers after 30 days, bam, it goes right to the printer. And then as soon as it's printed and shipped, we start fulfilling. Here's our cast of characters. We have Mel, our alligator. He's an apex predator that doesn't like change. Alligators haven't changed in 50 million years, so why should he? Mel is a lover, not a fighter, but beware if you try to take his last comforter. Dink the pelican, who is Mel's best friend. Dink loves technology and is much more progressive, but those differences don't get in the way of their wonderful friendship. Yeah, and they like to bust each other's balls too, just like most guys. Paul, the orneriest palmetto bug in the state and also the largest. and that's saying something. If you've ever seen a palmetto bud, guys, they are big. Obviously, they're not 6 foot, but Paul has leveraged his people skills into a career in customer service, rather. Every one of us has talked to a Paul at some point. Liz is the voice of reason in the strip. Liz is an Anole who loves books and romance and has an unrequited love for Mel. Not that he knows it. Hoover, the gopher tortoise, is with a bottomless shell. He has so much space in there, he's even sublet some of it. Sort of like the not crazy. Was it Crazy Cat? No, Felix the cat in his bag of tricks. Ray the manatee, an owner of Sunshine State's favorite watering hole. He's always trying to get the boys to pay their tabs. It is rumored that Ray has never bought a round on the house, and that is true. So here are some sample strips. This one is one of my particular favorites because it really does strike the whimsical tone of it. It's My Love of the Sea as well. And it quotes an Emily Dickinson poem, or part of it. It's called The Exaltation is the Going. The exaltation is the going of an inland soul to sea, past the houses, past the headlands, into deep eternity. Bred as we among the mountains, can the sailor understand the divine intoxication of the first league out from land? By Emily Dickinson. This one's funny. Mel has to use Dink's computer because he doesn't have, any internet access. What are you doing on my computer? I've decided to get a dog. What do you want a dog for? Dogs are great companions. They're loyal and they're faithful and they're delicious. We're done here. This was a play, when I was a kid out with my dad golfing in Florida. This is actually based on a true thing. Alligators are, if there's a standing water somewhere in Florida, you have to assume there's an alligator in it. It's just smart to do that. And they're always on golf courses. And one time I was looking for a ball and I saw a guy on the other side of a culvert, in this rough area, and he's got his club and he's swinging it around looking for his ball. And I look, and like 6 feet away from him, sitting there in the sun, is like this 8-foot gator just sunning himself. And this guy's walking towards him, chumming for the ball with his club. And I'm looking at these two and hey, buddy. And I said, you should take the stroke. And he goes, what are you talking about? And I started pointing like that. And he gets up and he looks and he sees this alligator there. And he goes, okay. Good intel. So that's what this particular strip was based on. He says, nuts. I hooked it. I'm on the other side of the culvert. Are you taking the stroke? Heck no, I'm playing it. Wait, there's a human on the other side sunbathing. I'd take the penalty if I were you. They can be dangerous. They really are becoming a nuisance on the course. I hear that. And this one is based on the idea that you're supposed to offer, somebody a piece of gum. And he says, what are you doing? Having a stick of gum. Etiquette breach. Huh? You're supposed to ask everyone around you if they would like some gum first. But you don't chew gum. Doesn't matter. You're supposed to ask. Would you like a stick of gum? I don't chew gum. See, that's the kind of ball busting that friends would do. Now, here's an example of me being in the strip. When the guy's trying to make up for me. Have a cigar? What's all this? It's a token of our appreciation for all you do for us. How nice. Well, how about that? Maybe I've misjudged you guys. Smells good. Care to join me? No, thanks. We have to be moving along. Mighty fine. Mighty fine indeed. Pop. And then I'm chasing the boys and they're laughing at me. And this is an example of why the boys don't like, and I have a love-hate relationship, is because I'm always forcing them into situations where they have to shill for me. And they resent that. But this one was a fun little visit to Monster Island. It was like a 4-part storyline that I did when I was promoting, I think it was Return to Monster Island. And so we got Mac and Duke. there. And he says, "Don't shoot. Who are you? And what are you doing here?" "I'm Melbourne T. Gator, and this is my pal Dink." "A pleasure. We swam over here when your island popped up in our water." "We're back on Earth? You hear that, Duke? We're home. That means we can get off the island." "Yeah, I heard, Mac." "What's wrong then?" "I'm beginning to worry about our sanity." "How so?" "We've just run into a talking alligator and a talking pelican, and we don't even think that's weird." A bit high strung, don't you think? So these are the kind of strips that you'll be treated to in this hardcover book. And of course, every book is going to come with a bookmark, logo sticker, spot UV on cover, and upgraded paper. As I mentioned, it's hardcover, 8.5 by 11. This is the one to get, the everything package, because with that you also get the coaster set, which is right here. You can see it nice and big. Each one with a character from the strip, holding a different form of alcohol. And then the challenge coin, which you can only get here as an add-on. And the book that you get here is the one that's signed and has a remark of your favorite character. There's a drop-down menu when you buy it, and you can choose what character you want. If you're not into that and you just want the signed book, or if let's say you don't want the coasters but you want the challenge coin, both of those are add-ons for the other two regular perks, like the signed book. If you're just buying it individually, you can choose those two, one of those add-ons if there's one you didn't want. But if you want them both, then this is the way to go with the everything package, because you're going to save on shipping on that one. So there we go, guys. Let me scroll back up here, see what I've missed. Okay, Doc Brewski's here. Hail, Graham, and congrats on the launch. Can't wait to get off work and back this. Thank you, Doc. Ink on Paper says, hail. Thank you for sharing the links, Marcus. Would Mel fall for Lucy's football trick? Only once, and then he'd eat whoever pulled the ball away. Apex Comic and Apex Predator were related. With digital syndication, do papers ever request to print them? No, not that I'm aware of. They have their own contracts with and usually it's with the print versions that they also do digital for. But anybody can see mine on my website. No point in having people go to somebody else's. That's how I felt about Go Comics. Build the traffic onto my website. Marcus says, we saw an alligator at my mother-in-law's house on Ocala at Easter when my boys were young. Ocala is horse country. Yeah, it's horse country, all right. But like I said, if there's standing water, just assume there's a gator in there. Oh, dang, this is great. Yeah, thank you. Glad you like it. All right, so I'm going to do one more refresh. Been on an hour now. I just wanted to, come on and do a soft launch, let everybody know that the links are out there. Your sign-up links were sent to everybody at 11:30 this morning, so you should have those. Use those if you were a sign-up person, because you don't get the benefits if you don't use that link. It's very important that you use that. That way we know who's going to get the signed mini print, and also, how the shipping is going to go. So please make sure you use those links when you back. And we're going to do the show on Ethan's channel tonight at 7 o'clock, and we'll have a plethora of CG friends there, which should be a lot of fun. So I hope you guys will tune in for that. And let's see. I think that's it. Let's do one more refresh here, quick, before we leave, and then we'll close out our show with the Escape from Monster Island video, which will be ending in a little over 2 weeks. Oh, wow. Okay, we're up to 32 backers, $2,935 raised so far. All right, we're getting there. We are getting there. All right, my friends. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for tuning in. Thank you for everyone that's backing this and backing all of our CG projects. We really do appreciate you. We're constantly under attack by angry people, and it's folks like you that make it better for us. That's for sure. That is absolutely for sure. And we really do appreciate you. So go finish your lunch. I'm gonna go grab my own. And guess who's scratching to come in now up there? I can hear her on the outside. So I'll go let Pumpkin in as well. So thanks again, guys. We'll see you tonight on Ethan's channel at 7 o'clock. And please share these links with all your friends, your family, and your enemies, because their money is just as good. Till tonight, we'll see you.